Welcome to Prime Space, a Prime Coaching Academy podcast with your host, Elias. So you most likely heard the concept of not knowing. This is something we talk a lot about in coaching training and in coaching in general, right? In the coaching world. The aspect that it's best, it's more productive, and it's more valuable to the coaching process when the coach comes to the conversation with a beginner's mind, with a level of curiosity, and not necessarily relying on their experience and expertise and knowledge. It's strange when we first encounter this concept because, in general, we are very well trained, and I like to use the word domesticated, in knowing, in having the answer, right? From our educational and professional life, we are well rewarded and encouraged to know. We are supposed to solve problems, be independent, know how to deal with our lives, answer questions, fix issues. That's what we are very well encouraged to do throughout our lives. And then here comes coaching and say, hey, that's awesome, that's wonderful. But what is most valuable in coaching is actually to not know. What? We build our values in knowing. We build our identity in knowing. We feel good about ourselves because we know. And now you're telling me that what I need to practice and what I need to embody is this concept of not knowing. That is one of the disruptive characteristics of coaching. Right? We say that coaching is a disruptor. And here is one big place where coaching disrupts the status quo. Coaching asks us to think differently. And the reason why is it not knowing so important? Because it is in the not knowing that there is life. That's the bottom line, right? I always say, the moment that we know, the moment that we find the answer, the conversation is over. You've heard me say this before. There is nothing else to explore because this is the answer, period. When we don't know, when I come to the coaching conversation and put my expertise to the side and put my knowledge, even my insights and thoughts, if I put them to the side or make them secondary, then I give the client the opportunity, the space to discover, to create, to design anything. It becomes unlimited. There is life in that aspect. There is the possibility of creating something that I, as a coach, don't even know yet. The power of not knowing, it really lies into the growth mindset and the fixed mindset. When I come to a coaching conversation and I am so anchored and attached to my experiences, to what I know, and I value my experience, my knowledge, my insights, my perspective too much, it's a fixed mindset because I am fixed. I'm fixated in my own value, in my own ideas, in my own stuff. To embody the growth mindset, it's that idea that, yes, I have all of this, but there is more. There is more that I don't know. What is it? Let me open the space for that possibility, that possible growth to my client. Let me open that opportunity for my client. It's really recognizing that regardless of our expertise, regardless of how many degrees we have on the wall, how many years of experience we might have in that particular situation, our knowledge and our perspective is limited. We are human beings. And no matter how clever and smart we are, our knowledge and our expertise is limited. Our perspective is limited. And when we attach so much, or when we only pay attention to what we know, we are actually limiting the possibilities to our clients. So that's why not knowing is so crucial in the coaching conversation, for the coach to stay grounded in that space of not knowing. We have limited perceptions, and that requires a tremendous level of humility on my part as a coach. Realizing that the way I see the world, realizing that the experiences that I have, realizing that what comes up for me, it's just one point of view. And can I put that to the side to create the space for the other, the person in front of me, my client, to discover and to come to conclusions that are on their own, come to conclusions that are suited for them, not based on, the perceived brilliance that we have of ourselves. That requires tremendous level of humility, but it requires also tremendous level of courage for us to step into that space. And courage to realize that my value does not lie on the answers that I create. My value does not rely on my ability to bring an answer to the client. My value does not rely on the solutions that I provide. My value relies on how much space I'm able to create. And I say courage also because oftentimes when we attach ourselves so much to what we know, what is behind there is a lot of fear of letting go, fear that this is what the client wants, and then we're going to lose our client, or my business is not going to grow, or I am not going to have control over. Fear that things are not going to go well. Fear that the client is not going to perceive the value of the process. Fear that this is what the client wants. The client wants answers. And then we attach ourselves to that knowing. And that's why we say that coaching is disruptive, is the disruptive process. Counterintuitive in a sense. Because it is exactly in that moment that we start trusting. It is exactly in that moment that we take a breath, that we let go, that we take courage to believe, to open the space, and we start getting curious about this space of not knowing. That is where we are going to be most effective. And that's where our clients are going to perceive the power of coaching. How often the client comes expecting us to provide answers because we are showing up with that mindset. And then we are not even giving them the chance to see what is possible when we embrace the not knowing, when we embrace the possibility of the things that we don't know yet. Imagine if not only in coaching, but in the world in general, we would embrace this concept, put our stuff to the side and be curious about the other, and Be curious about what is possible that we have not created yet, right? It is right there in not knowing that innovation happens. Innovation cannot happen in expertise, right? Innovation only happens when we understand where we are and we open for the possibility of something new. Of course, this concept of not knowing and what I'm talking about here is deep work. If we are on the surface, if our clients are on the surface, if I am on the surface, and the proposition is just to what is the problem now and where we're going to find an answer, yeah, of course, maybe my expertise will be valuable in that particular moment. But when we are in the process of human development, when we are doing the serious work, where the client is really looking inside and saying, what has brought me here? What is making me respond to my situation in this way? How do I want to respond instead? What are the shifts of perspectives that I need to make for myself? Right? This kind of place, this deep work that is the proposition of coaching, there is very little value of anything that I can bring from my experience to the client. So oftentimes when we are in the space of knowing, it's because our process is a little bit on the surface, and perhaps it's a call for us to go deeper and commit to that level of work. So my encouragement to you is this: what is holding you back from putting yourself in that space of not knowing? What is the level of humility that coaching is calling you to? Where is the courage, the trust? Where is the growth mindset? So that you can truly bring value to the process of coaching by coming with your expertise in the coaching process, but putting your expertise in topics, in subject matter, as secondary. I would be curious what you and your client are going to be able to create with that mindset. Thank you, everyone. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to share this episode with other coaches. And I'll see you next week.